Hello! So last week was my 23rd birthday, and just like previous years, I thought it would be a good idea to show what I got. So if you're interested to see the type of gifts I received, and some of the Doctor Who items as well, stick around. So kicking things off with the Doctor Who items, seeing as there's so many of them, we have this amazing Nightmare in Silver Cyberman. So I'll just get right up close to the camera there, and hopefully it will zoom in. But yeah, so as you can see, it's the Nightmare in Silver version of the Cybermen, also known as the Iron Man version, as some people point out. So this is from Eagle Moss, for anyone that's interested, and it's actually the second figure I've got. It was literally less than a month ago that I got into these figures, and I bought myself an Ice Warrior, which would highly recommend. I loved the Ice Warrior, so I asked my family if they could get me some more figures, and this was my favourite one of the bunch. But there's more to come. We've also got this Zygon. I absolutely love the Zygons, so I just had to get this figure. So you can see he's stretching his arm out. I do hope that's zooming in. A Weeping Angel, had to get this. So again, really good attention to detail. It looks like a statue, it's quite weighty. Yeah, I just love these figures. They are very pricey, I should say. I think it's about £10 if you get it on the actual Eagle Moss website. But I think eBay does it slightly cheaper. An Ood as well. I just love the Ood, so I asked for that one from my family. The only thing that is a bit of a shame, hopefully you can see, right there is a little cup in reference to the Planet of the Ood episode. It's not actually glued to the figure. It's such a tiny little thing. It's quite easy to lose. So if you were to get that figure, I would recommend that you try and glue it to the hand as quickly as possible. And then the final figure I got was the Silence. The reason this is still in its box and not out like all the other figures is because, sadly, hopefully you can see, there's some brown marks on the figure. So I don't really know what I'm going to do about that. I think potentially I might try painting over it if I can find some black paint, but otherwise I might just have to return it. Some of the figures came with little magazines as well, which I haven't actually read yet, but I think they go into detail on each of the monsters. So for instance, with the Zygon one, it points out the various features. It probably delves into the history as well. Yeah, so that's a nice little additional thing to read. The main present I got this year was Doctor Who: The Legacy of Time. So for those of you that don't know about this was a huge Big Finish audio drama that came out last year to celebrate 20 years of Big Finish. Crazy how long that's been going on for now. And yeah, as part of that they got many of the Doctors to return to voice their incarnations. Several companions came as well. There's a story involving River Song, for instance. Katie Manning, she has a whole story as well. So I think you get 6 stories in this, and each one features different characters and a different incarnation of the Doctor. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to listening to that. Another Doctor Who gift that I'm really happy I received from my family was the book by Sophie Aldred. So it's called, as you can see there, At Childhood's End, which is quite a clever title because obviously it spells out ace, and it features the 13th Doctor and her fan meeting Ace for the first time. I've heard good things about it from those who have already read the book, so I bet this is going to be a really good read. Another Doctor Who book I got was Christopher Eccleston's biography, well, autobiography. This is Christopher Eccleston being quite honest and candid about his father, and I forget, he had dementia, I think. It's not going to be the happiest of reads, but it's going to be insightful at the very least, and I'm quite intrigued to learn more about Christopher Eccleston and his background. I got yet another Doctor Who book as well. This is one that I bought myself, and it's Human Nature, the novelisation. So hopefully you guys will be aware that the Series 3 two-parter, Human Nature and the Family of Blood, was actually based on this very book. And it's got the same writer, Paul Cornell. So he wrote this in, I think, 1995, and then when Russell T Davies brought the show back, this book popped into his mind, and as soon as he remembered it, he was like, right, at some point we are adapting this for TV, and that's what they did. Obviously there's going to be a lot of similarities between this and what we got in the finished episodes, but there's also going to be quite a few differences as well. The main one being, of course, it's a different Doctor, different companion as well. Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how the story is in book form compared to what we all know about from the TV show. So we're beginning to move away from Doctor Who now, but we're still kind of on the subject of Doctor Who. We have Class, the CD, both the regular CD and the bonus disc as well. I feel like I'm one of the few fans that actually enjoyed Class. I just thought it was a great spin-off, and I was really shocked at how few people actually watched it. But anyway, that's for another video. Blair Mowat, who's the composer of Class, he worked so hard, not just to make the music in the first place, but to actually get this as an official release. And he spent, I think, nearly 2 years actually putting this album together, or albums I should say, and he did it for the fans, which is quite nice. And he also, which was really nice of him, he has written little paragraphs about each of the tracks on the main album, I should say, not the bonus CD. Yeah, so for any music fans out there, I'd highly recommend you buy this and get this bonus CD as well, because that's another hour and a half of music, I think. So it's quite a long album. You do get a lot of value for your money. So obviously I've been listening to that quite a lot since my birthday, and I just think it's great. Next up we have Dracula on DVD. So this is the BBC version that was on at the start of January, made by good old Stephen Moffat and Mark Gatiss, the geniuses behind Sherlock and many great episodes of Doctor Who. There's the back there. This show, I thought it was amazing. Not as good as Sherlock. I think episode 3 does let it down slightly. I won't spoil why, just in case you haven't watched it. But all I'll say is it does something unexpected with Dracula, and let's just say not everyone liked what they did. But episodes 1 and 2 are amazing. They're very gory, so I would recommend you only watch it if you're 15 and older. Just like with Sherlock and Doctor Who, it's well written. It's got a good balance of darkness and comedy. I forget the actor's name that plays Dracula. Klaus Bang. He's a brilliant actor. This is the first thing I've seen him in, and I just loved his performance of Dracula. It's so deliciously evil, for want of a better phrase. And yeah, he just completely owns the role. All the other actors are great as well. It is a bit of a shame that you only have 20 minutes worth of special features. Like, there was a time you could have up to 2 hours worth of bonus content. But I suppose, being logical, better that than nothing. And really, you buy a DVD for the actual show or film, so I can't complain. Another DVD I got was Relic. So this show was on BBC One, I think 2 years ago now. And the reason I love it so much is because it's a crime drama told in reverse. Every scene that comes later on is set before what you've just watched, if that makes sense. So by the time it gets to the end of the series, you're actually, in terms of chronologically, you're at the beginning of the story. This was unlike any programme I've ever seen before. So clever, really looking forward to watching this again, and do check it out if you can. I don't think it's on BBC iPlayer, but literally go out and buy the DVD. It's only £6. I highly recommend it. I got a PS4 game this year, as I do with most years, and this time it was LA Noire. So this game I have already got on the Xbox 360, but for some reason I never completed it. I think I got halfway through and then got busy with schoolwork, I think, then uni and then job, so I never did complete it. So I'm hoping this version I will complete at some point. My uncle got me a Waterstones voucher, amongst other things, and with it I bought this 1 line a day diary. I'm going to bring that right to the camera because I think it's so gorgeous that you have to have a look at that. How this works is you have every day of the year, and on each day you've got space for 5 different days, and the idea is you fill it out every day for 5 years, and then obviously whenever you want you can look back and see what you were doing on that particular day. So I've already started filling it out. I've got to backtrack now to the start of January because I don't really want to be leaving blank spaces. But yeah, so there's March. So I think even though it says 1 line a day, what's quite nice is there is space for more than just a single sentence. So I can summarise things into paragraphs, which is quite nice. Because even though I don't like writing, at the same time I want to make a note of as much of any one day as possible. I don't like forgetting things. So it's good this book will allow me to do that. The other thing my uncle got me, well, there's 2 other things. One of them was this Secret Service Brain Teasers book, which was a really good idea. He knows me well. He knows that I like cracking puzzles, and I did a cryptography module at uni. The final thing from my uncle was this Lynx box, and it contains a body spray and body wash, so that will allow me to keep clean. And then the final gift I got, this is another one from my immediate family, was Kick-Ass 2, the novel. So I've now got all 3 of them. I think I got Kick-Ass 1, Christmas Just Gone. Kick-Ass 3 I potentially got this time last year. It's a very violent novel. Let's see if I can find a bloody page. It's not the goriest page, but you can see there they're covered in blood. So yeah, it's not for kids, Kick-Ass. But then again, I suppose the film gives that away. And that's it. That's all the gifts that I got this year. Obviously there was things like money and gift cards as well, but there's no point showing them off because I'd literally just be waving cash around and no one wants to see that. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like, as it really does mean a lot to me. Drop a nice comment down below, your thoughts on any of the gifts, or anything you think I should spend my money on. Stay safe. It's a dangerous time we live in at the moment. Keep washing your hands. Self-isolate if you can. Make videos as well, like I'm doing. Pass the time. And I will see you next time. Bye.